Hello, John Dove here, and welcome to the latest episode of the Speed Mooting Partners in Crime podcast, episode 35. Yes, that's how long we've been recording now. We had an interesting episode today and we discussed a lot. So we started today with an Ask Speed Squad question about what we do here and how it can be helpful to aspiring advocates. We spoke about the very busy week that we've had recently. So we've been all over the place and we worked out that I've spent nearly 24 hours in the driving seat of a car since Saturday. Within that segment, we spoke about the Target Jobs National Pupillage Fair. It was a great event, well done to those involved in the organisation. We met many great people and we spoke about my presentation at Lincoln's Inn. Yes, I had the chance to give a talk at that historic institution. We spoke about the big news, that is the return of Suits LA. We spoke about the SQE. The results came out this week and it looks like once again the pass rates have dipped. So we spoke about whether the SQE really is fit for purpose. Was there anything wrong with the LPC and the training contract model? We had a chat about that. We also gave a bit of a wedding update and we spoke about Hayley's introduction to the Catholic Church. So it's been an interesting episode. We enjoyed recording it. We hope you enjoy listening. Welcome to the podcast. And we are live.
Morning, everyone.
Morning, all. Welcome to the podcast. I'm John.
And I'm Hayley.
And this is the Speed Mooting Partners in Crime podcast.
Episode 35.
35. So we're beyond our ages now.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
so we
absolutely. Are. And as you know by now, you know the drill. We like to name our episodes after preferably a Formula 1 driver, or if not a Formula 1 driver, some other form of athlete with the corresponding number. Actually, we say corresponding number. Sometimes it's someone with just some significance attached to that number, isn't it?
Is it?
Yeah. So
when have we ever done one that's not their number?
I've got a feeling for episode 16, we did John Cena and Ric Flair because they both had 16 World Championships.
Oh, okay.
I have a feeling. I'll have to go back and listen to those episodes, but I think we did. So it's not always what number they were. Sometimes it's significance attached to the number.
Widens the net a little bit, I suppose.
We're just, I mean, you know, we're just opening the floodgates a little bit, aren't we? We're just relaxing the rules all the time. But I suppose it means we've got more and more different individuals we can name the episodes after, and it just, as you say, widens the net a little bit.
Indeed.
But you'll be pleased to know we're back on Formula 1.
Okay.
And I think this is the last time within the 30s that we're on Formula 1.
Wow.
Yeah.
A moment for Formula 1.
A moment for Formula 1 until we get back to episode 40.
Right.
Okay.
So, 35. Who is it, John?
35. Well, I'll give you a hint. He drove one season in Formula 1.
Okay.
2018.
Okay.
He drove for Williams. He is Russian.
Why did he only drive one season?
Now then, why did he drive for one season? Who came into Williams in 2019? I think George Russell might have come to Formula 1 in 2019.
Did he?
Yeah. So George Russell will have taken one of the spots at Williams, and George was driving with... Who was George's teammate? Because George was Mr. Saturday, wasn't he? And he always out-qualified his teammate regardless.
That was 2019.
When he started, yeah, I think so. Because he and Lando both started at the same time. They raced against each other in Formula 2. George won the F2 title and then they graduated to F1.
I remember you being really excited about George joining, but I didn't think it was that long ago.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm going to get this because... Was it 2018 that we started dating? 19. Oh gosh.
So you wouldn't have even known me.
I didn't even. Yeah, I only started. I knew who Lewis Hamilton was, and I don't think I knew anything else till about at least a year in to our relationship.
Yeah.
And then I was
so
like,
you at that
what
point...
is this thing that John keeps going on about so much? And I started to take an interest. So 2018, there's no way, unless they came back or done something. If they're dating a Kardashian, for example, then I might know them.
Yeah, I don't know this chap's dating, to be fair.
Go on, who is it? I'm not going to get it.
It's Sergei Sorokin.
No, never heard of him.
I'll be honest with you. It was only by chance when we were looking through the list of numbers attached to drivers that it came back to me the other day. Nothing against Sergei Sorokin, it was nearly 7 years ago he was in Formula One, so
wow.
I've seen lots of drivers come and go in that time. Sergei Sorokin, to say a little bit about him, he scored a point in 2018, and Williams didn't have the most competitive car back then, so fair play to Sergei for scoring a point. And he's gone on, he's done a little bit of sports car endurance racing since, so I think he's even taken part in the Le Mans 24 Hours, so, still got a bit of a career there.
Go for it. And you can't mention someone called Sergei without doing a meerkat impression.
You can't, can you?
Go on, John.
It's got to be Compare the Market. Here we go, let's do it.
John is the king of impressions.
I love doing this. So we're doing the Compare the Meerkat outfit. Hello, I am Sergei. Welcome to Compare the Meerkat. Simples. You can see how bad my impression was there.
And I hope that Compare the Market doesn't block it and copyright it like WWE does.
Speaking of which, yeah.
Cheeky.
So, if you would have seen our episode, it was a few episodes ago now.
A good few
episodes ago, and we were talking about when we went to watch WWE, and main event Jey Uso was coming out. If you've never seen a main event Jey Uso entrance, look at it. We can't even insert one here now. And Jey Uso does this thing called the yeet. So a yeet is yeet. And everyone in the crowd yeets along with him, so your arms are up and down, yeeting, etc. And as I was explaining this, I said, well, the best yeet I've ever seen, and when it kind of really kicked off, was Backlash France. So Backlash was an event in France earlier this year. The lights go out, everyone's got their phone lights on, and they're all yeeting. It was a sight to behold. And we were like, yeah, let's throw some B-roll in, and it goes in. And then WWE copyrighted us.
Cheek.
The cheek. Paul Levesque, Triple H, I'm going to let you off with this one because I don't think you were personally involved in this.
I don't know.
Triple H, I will forgive you. I'll give you the benefit of the doubt and say it wasn't you. But to whomever did, shame on you, because we're promoting the WWE. You may have had new fans off the back of this, and all we did was share a yeet. So, shame on you. Vince McMahon would never have copyrighted us.
Maybe not. But it still doesn't make him a good guy. He may not have copyrighted us, but yeah.
Well, actually, I'm saying that he probably would have done.
Yeah, we just need to do the pants off everybody.
Yeah.
100% he would have.
No, but Paul, I'll give you the benefit of the doubt there.
So if you'll watch one of our old podcasts and it'll be coming and we'll go, here's the B-roll. So nothing. That was the B-roll. And you won't see anything because we had to take it out or we couldn't play that lovely podcast episode for you all.
Yeah.
Sad
so,
day.
Sergei,
sad.
please don't copyright us.
Yes, please don't copyright us.
Anyway, so that's the episode. So welcome to episode 35, the Sergei Sorokin special.
Welcome. So I thought we'd start with an Ask Speed Squad. Mm-hmm. We've got a really nice one that feeds into the introduction of this podcast.
Okay.
So for anyone that's listening for the first time, we are the Speed Mooting team. So we happily, with the help of LinkedIn people, named ourselves the Speed Squad.
We did indeed.
And a segment on this podcast and just in what we do in general, we always answer questions. So people ask us for advice, they ask us about stuff that's happening in the industry, they ask us personal questions, whatever it might be, we answer them on the podcast and directly to you as well.
Yeah.
And a question we had this week was, let me get it up.
Okay, I'm looking forward to this. Drum roll for the question.
Got it. Stop drum rolling. So, I am a first year student looking to compete in mooting competitions as well as start mooting. I noticed that you are the founder of Speed Mooting and the Advocacy Club.
I am.
Can you tell me more? So, this is another great one for people that are tuning into this podcast for the first time.
It's a great one.
So do you want to give an overview of what it is that we do, John?
Okay, so firstly, thank you for the question. And secondly, if you're interested in getting involved in mooting at such an early stage, you're streets ahead, you're thinking ahead, you're on the right path. So well done for looking to build those skills at the outset. So, what do we do? Well, as an organisation, Speed Mooting, we've been going for 12 years now.
Yep.
And there's many different things that we do. So let's look at our competition elements first. So we have 4 competitions per year, 2 in person and 2 online. The 2 in-person competitions always tend to be speed mooting. The 2 online competitions are always submission-based advocacy competitions, so a plea and mitigation and a bail application. That may change in the future, but that's what we do for now.
Yeah, we've definitely got plans to add some more.
We certainly have.
Watch this space.
Watch this space, we're growing. It'll be funny watching this back in a few years going, we only did 4 competitions a year.
Yep.
So there are our competitions, and the philosophy with our competitions are that we know how busy you are. You've not got time to go off doing research, drafting, etc. And also, a lot of people want a competition that will test solely their oral advocacy. And that's what our competitions do. It's a focus on a test of the oral advocacy. So within our speed mooting bundles, for example, we include pre-drafted skeleton arguments for both sides. We include all the case law that can be relied upon. We include all the legislation that can be relied upon. So from your point of view, it's just about preparing your submissions and getting ready to argue. So within a speed mooting competition, we say to you, prepare for both sides. Because from one round to the next, you don't know which side you will be acting for. And what we do is we do this within a single day competition. So you get the bundle the night before, like being in practice, like being a real barrister. The bundles are obviously not too big because you're getting them the night before. So you prepare overnight, you come to the competition the next day, and we have 128 people taking part in this knockout style single day competition. It's one-on-one each round, so you represent yourself, so you don't have to find a partner, which was one of the issues I had when I was at university. I had no mates that were into advocacy. I was always paired with somebody, and more often than not, they didn't do the work or they weren't that good. I don't mean to sound arrogant or anything by that, but it brought me down. It meant I lost moots that I should have otherwise won. So I thought, well, let's get rid of that issue. Let's take that. Let's put the control back in the hands of the mooter and say, you're on your own, you fall or you fly on your own sword. So you're on your own, it's 7 minutes per round. And throughout the day, you'll work through various rounds and you may end up getting to the final and winning the competition. So it's very fun and it all takes place within 24 hours. So there are speed mooting competitions. And then similarly, the online advocacy competitions have a similar structure. We give you the bundle the night before. So there's nothing much for you to prepare because you don't need to do any research or drafting. Short submissions, 5 to 7 minutes, and you'll work through a series of rounds. All of our competitions are judged by practitioners, and we ensure that the practitioners give feedback to everyone, win, lose or draw, so you get some value. So they're the competitions, really fun and open to anyone. So we've had people win the competitions that have got a good pedigree of winning all the other top competitions. Equally, we've had people win our competitions that are doing advocacy for the first time ever that day.
Yeah.
So because of the way we structure them, because of the way we give you everything, it's a level playing field. It's like the FA Cup, anyone can win it. We then move on to the Advocacy Club. Mm-hmm. So by comparison, this is not a competitive environment. It's not a competition. This is a place to practice and hone your advocacy. So the Advocacy Club is all about providing people with a low pressure environment where you can develop your advocacy skills. So we've got 2 aspects to the club. The club meets twice a month, the second to last and the last Tuesday of the month. The second to last Tuesday is always debating or advocacy, and it switches every month, so it alternates each month. The last Tuesday is always legal advocacy, and we cover pretty much every form of advocacy you can think of. So civil submissions, criminal submissions, family submissions. We do trial advocacy, so we break that down into 3 sessions, being the opening speech, witness handling, which is cross-examination and evidence in chief, and the closing speech. We do speed mooting, so pretty much any form of advocacy you can think of, it's covered. And it meets online, and it's the same principle. No research, no drafting, everything's supplied for you. We give you the materials 7 days in advance, and at each session, we bring you into the session. I give a bit of a talk at the start. We break you off into small rooms of 3, 4, 5 people, depending on what the exercise is. Within the room, you perform that piece of advocacy. You will share feedback amongst yourselves. So it's all about peer-to-peer feedback. It's low pressure. You're not in front of barristers. You're not in front of Supreme Court judges. None of that business. It's all about low pressure, peer-to-peer feedback. And at the end of the session, we bring everyone back into the main room. And whoever's hosting the session, whether it's you or I, Hayley, tends to be me most times, I will give a talk about that piece of advocacy at the end and share some feedback, hints, tips, etc. So the Advocacy Club is really fun, and it's a great way to develop your skills.
Yep. So There are two main arms to what we do.
Yeah.
There is a third, though.
There is.
Our events.
Our events, Hayley.
So we started back in COVID expanding to events, didn't we? And it used to be things like Q&A events, panel events, all taking place online. Fast forward 4 years.
Yeah.
And now running events is a big part of what we do. So, for example, our biggest ever event was the Northern Pupillage Fair, which took place in 2024 for the very first time. That is an annual event going forward, so we'll be having a Northern Pupillage Fair again in 2025, and you can pre-register for that on our website right now.
Right now. speedmooting.com/pupillage-fair.
Boom. We've also got a big pupillage event coming up in January, which we'll talk about a little bit later. And we do lots of collaborations and events with universities and educational providers. Pretty much anybody that gets in touch and wants to collab with us, we are open to exploring that.
We certainly are.
Yeah.
We certainly are.
So events is another big part of what we do here.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're doing so much and we're just expanding all the time as an organisation. And the whole philosophy of what we do, our tagline is training tomorrow's lawyers today.
Yep.
So what we're doing is we're providing as many opportunities as possible to help those enter the profession. Because, we know how difficult it is. We don't come from traditional backgrounds. We don't come from backgrounds where our parents went to university or professional, anything like that. You even did a post the other day talking about how you grew up on a council estate.
Just yesterday,
yeah. So, and it's quite daunting coming into this because, particularly, I remember going to university and, you're speaking to people who've come from different backgrounds. They've been to private schools. They've had different, ways of coming up, and so certain people come into this profession and they're already streets ahead, and then you talk to people in the profession, and I remember I used to get a little bit intimidated because you're asking questions and some barristers can be a little bit cold with the way they're talking to you, etc., and it makes you feel about yay big. So that's why we realise not everyone, you don't know what you don't know.
Of course you don't know.
And so we're trying to open the doors, basically, and say, look, here, this is the behind the scenes, this is what goes on.
Yep.
This is what it's like in the profession, and our doors are always open. So I like to think that we're pretty warm people. I like to think that we're open.
Absolutely, yeah.
And quite frankly, there's no such thing as a stupid question because, as I say, I'll keep going back to this phrase, but you don't know what you don't know. You might have this idea of going, well, I want to be a barrister, I know I want to do the law, I know I want to speak in court, but you don't know much more about it than that because, well, why would you?
How would you? Yeah.
When you're 18, how do you know much more about it than you throw on a wig and a gown and you argue in court? So everything else beyond that is all new information to you. So you'll ask questions and it might be something that seems very, very obvious to people who've either been exposed to the legal profession, exposed to professions, or even just, know more about this in any event. Whereas if you've not come from that background, you are not going to know. You are never going to know that. So that's why I say, well, do you know what? Ask us any questions. That's what the podcast is for. We're here to answer questions. That's why we run these Q&A sessions, so people have the chance to put these questions to barristers. That's why we put on a pupillage fair. Come along, chat to chambers, chat to barristers, chat to people in the profession. I'm speaking about this from the bar profession, but we're open to all aspects of the legal profession. So we do a lot of law. We had law firms exhibit at our pupillage fair.
Of course we did, yeah.
We do a lot of events for people who are interested in the solicitor's profession as well. So long and short, we cater to all professions, and that's what we're all about, helping people, providing opportunities and opening doors.
Indeed. So for those who don't know us, so John is a criminal barrister.
Yeah.
And I am a commercial solicitor turned legal director.
Indeed.
So between us both, we can cover off both arms of the profession, and we're not just geared towards barristers or solicitors.
No.
Everyone is welcome, and we do anything and everything we can just to help the next generation come through, as everything John's just said. So nobody was there to give us a leg up. We know how hard it is, it can be very soul destroying sometimes to break into this industry, particularly if you have zero connection. So we're here for you. Anything you need, info@speedmooting.com. Our inbox is always open for advice and help.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, as you say, we've come in the hard way.
Yes,
it took us years
definitely.
and years and years. We weren't one of these that went straight through uni, LPC, getting your training contract, all the rest of it. So we've slogged the hard way.
We have, and there's lots of other people. I mean, you might be thinking, gosh, Am I the only one going through this? Am I the only one facing the struggle?
No.
Tom, Bob and Barry, their dads were lawyers. It's so much easier for them. There's so many people out there breaking through and coming across and having to face so many barriers.
Yeah.
So you're not alone, but rest assured there's a lot of people in the profession now, and I said this on my post yesterday, there's so many people out there having massively successful careers who didn't come from privileged backgrounds. So hard work and perseverance will pay off, and we're here to help you along the way.
Indeed.
Oof, that was a very long introduction.
Turned into a bit of a rant, really, didn't it?
It did. It was like a sermon.
Yeah, like a sermon.
We went to meet Father Terence.
We did.
Yesterday. For those who, again, don't know us, or even if you do, I'm sure you're interested. So we got engaged recently.
You showing it off, Hayley?
Ta-da!
There we go. Look at that. Get it right up into the camera.
Ooh.
Let people see the shine of that.
Oh, it's even better in the... Because we've got better light this week.
Oh, yeah.
Look at it. Beautiful.
The oval shape, the full carrot there. Perfect cut, perfect colour, clarity, etc.
So I made a joking comment on one of our posts last week and said petition to add a wedding planning segment to every episode. And it did get like 13 likes. So people want it.
13 people want it, Hayley.
Exactly. So to you 13 people, here's a little update.
Yeah.
So we've got... I mean, we say this all the time about speed mooting. We don't let the grass grow.
No.
And it's true about us in our personal life as well. We've been engaged for less than 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And we've got 5 viewings in December for venues. And we're going to be doing a church wedding first, aren't we, John?
Of course we are.
So yesterday we met with Father Terence from our local parish.
Yeah.
And we had a night... What do you call that? Was that a Bible study class? What was that?
Look, was it Bible studies? I don't know. Long and short, it's a class for various people, either those who want to join the Catholic Church or those that need to complete further sacraments. So I, for one reason or another, only got as far as confession. So never quite completed my confirmation. So I need to go through that.
Yep.
And Hayley wants to join the Catholic Church.
Yep.
She's coming to the light side. So you're a convert from the Anglican Church, aren't you, Hayley?
Indeed I am.
So we're in the same class. My brother as well. So neither of us. Once again, long story behind it, but neither of us completed our confirmation. Want to go through that, even at this late stage in life. And so we're going through that. So
I think it's just nice to do it before you get married, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it's always nice to have done it before marriage anyway.
Because isn't that the ordered confirmation and the next sacrament should be marriage?
Yeah.
So it's nice to do it.
Yeah, don't want to be talking about the next sacraments after marriage.
Was that death?
The sacraments after marriage are not great, so...
There's a joke to be made in there somewhere.
So hopefully 2025 is the end of our sacraments for some time.
Good.
But yeah, so that's where we are.
That's a little wedding update for you.
So that's our wedding update. So Father Terence, he was lovely, wasn't he?
He was really nice, yeah. Really nice.
We've got a little bit of homework to do, haven't we?
A lot of homework. We've got 10 hours of video footage to watch.
Yeah.
We're doing a rerun of Lost right now. How are we going to fit in that?
No, it's like almost as long as a season of Lost, isn't it?
I think so, yeah. Gosh.
Yeah.
But yeah, we jest it. It's going to be really nice. So we're going to be doing our sacraments.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, it's going to be the Easter weekend. Yeah. So as Father Terence said to us, it's going to be a little bit anticlimactic on the Sunday because we'll actually do the sacraments on the Saturday, and then obviously we'll have the sort of service on the Sunday.
Fun.
So yeah, so you'll have a couple on the day there, won't you?
Yeah. Well, I don't need to be baptised because I've been baptised in the Anglican Church. So what?
So you're going to need...
I'm such a novice. So what is it I need?
So you're going to need Holy Communion.
Yes. So I'm going to take the bread.
That's all the way around, Hayley. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, left hand above the right.
Remember, engagement ring first.
Yeah, exactly. And then, so hand on top, take that. Priest will say, "Body of Christ." You say, "Amen," and then place it in the mouth.
Okay.
Then you'll have confession and you'll have confirmation.
Confession.
That's
scary. I don't want to get into that little box.
You don't need to. Well, it depends on how they do it. So when I did my first, so we did first confession in year 5, and you did it on the altar. Obviously, you're not doing it into a microphone in front of everyone, but you just sort of sat on the altar with the priest and gave your confession there.
That's scary.
Yeah. So just a little update there. So we'll keep you updated every now and again as to how our classes are going.
When we have good updates to give, because I say we've got it's pretty much December with view, aren't we? And then, so probably next update will be...
Probably the next... We might have a venue for the next update, mightn't we?
Next week we won't have a venue.
No, not next week, no. Probably early January we might be able to update you on that, mightn't we?
Oh, 100%. We'll have a decision by Christmas, I think.
Yeah, I reckon so. Exciting times anyway, isn't
Very
it?
exciting.
Yeah. So, anyway, right, that's wedding in the Catholic Church. Let's move on back to the law. Let's segue back in.
So a very, very, very exciting update. Almost as exciting as our wedding, but not quite.
Okay.
Suits. A Suits LA spin-off is coming.
It is, and there was an interesting and exciting post last week, wasn't there?
Yep. Good old Gabriel.
Good old Gabriel. I don't know how you pronounce his surname. Is it Macht? Gabriel Macht?
I think so.
Let's go with that.
Let's just call him Gabriel.
Yeah. Gabriel, apologies. I don't even know if we'll pronounce that. It might be Gabriel, mightn't it?
No, I'm sure it's
Is
Gabriel.
It Gabriel? Yeah, okay. So, apologies if we've butchered that, Gabriel. As someone who gets dove all the time, I completely understand it. So
at least your surname isn't Crombleholme, spelt with a B-L-E and an O and a H-O-L-M-E.
Crombleholme.
Yeah, I get them all.
Yeah, so apologies if we've mispronounced your name there, but Gabriel Macht did a very interesting post on Instagram the other day.
Yes.
He's popping the suit back on.
Harvey Specter.
Harvey Specter's back. So the question is this: is he back full time? Is he going to be a proper character in this, or is it going to be just a bit of a cameo role?
I imagine it is just a cameo to get it going, but you never know.
You never know. I mean, let's be frank. What else is he doing?
He might be doing a lot, John. We don't know the guy.
He might be, but I mean, I haven't seen him in anything else. Have you?
No. I did spot him in a really old
yeah.
Sex and the City episode, like from season 1. Avid, eagle-eyed viewers will have spotted him as well. He's in one of the very, very early episodes of Sex and the City. But yeah, when you said what's the big question, I thought you were going to say Harvey or Mike, because that was always the big question for me. Which one did I love the most?
Oh, okay.
I think it has to be Harvey, you know.
Yeah, it's got to be, hasn't it?
I think it has to be Harvey.
It's got to be. Yeah. I'd say out of all the fictional lawyers, I'd say he's up there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're so great though. Like Lewis Litt is like an amazing character. Lewis Litt is a shit-hot lawyer as well. Because if you remember, it's always a gripe, isn't it, that Harvey's like senior partner and everything before him. So he's like, my billables, destroy his billables. So he's really, really good.
Yeah.
And he's one of them characters that you learn to love, isn't he?
Oh, absolutely.
We need to once we finish Lost and our Bible study videos, we need to rewatch Suits.
Yeah, I think so. I think I rewatched it last year, so hopefully that'll give me time to try and forget it a little bit.
I rewatched it with you.
Oh, did you?
Yes, I was here then.
Oh, you were there, were you? You were present for that.
I was. But I think we could still rewatch it.
Yeah. I think the suits are interesting. I can't even remember how I found this out, but so Lewis wears a Hugo Boss suit and Harvey goes for Tom Ford. And I always remember years and years ago, I was in Macy's in the States, and I saw a Tom Ford suit section. I was like, I'm going to go and have a look. And, you know, Macy's is one of these where they have a person working there. Oh, sir, can I help you? I'm like,
oh, wow.
And, you know, I was dead young, so I said there.
Not the kind of service you get in Moss these days.
Well, not Moss. That is poor service.
Sometimes, yeah.
Depends where you go. The Cheshire Oaks one's alright, actually. Liverpool Moss is...
It's been very bad the last few times we've been.
Bad.
Anyway, we digress.
Yeah, and the guy was speaking to me, and he said, "Oh, how can I say?" I said, "Oh, I'm just looking at him. I'm hoping one day when I become a lawyer, I'll be able to afford this."
Oh, bless you. How cute.
Yeah.
Remember we went out for a meal as well? It was somewhere in Walton, which if you're not from Liverpool is a very nice part of Liverpool.
Yeah.
And you got a glass of whiskey, and it wasn't quite what Harvey drinks, but it was like a spin, like one
it's
of
the same brand. It's
the
probably
same brand.
So, oh yeah, what is it that they all drink on that?
Is it
Macallan?
Macallan,
yeah.
And then you got a tiny little one, and it was like
15 quid or
ridiculous.
Something, wasn't it? Yeah.
And I think, did we Google the bottle that he drinks or something, and it was like £200 a bottle or maybe more.
Because I think it depends on how aged it is. So mine might have been, you know, only a 10-year or something, whereas he's probably drinking a 20, 25, whatever.
But again, like if you love the detail in Suits, I think sometimes when he goes to the bar, he orders it and says exactly what year and stuff it is. So we found it and we Googled it, and it was like ridiculous.
So one of my mates is really into whiskey. And Matt.
Oh, Matt, yeah.
Yeah. So I was telling him all about that, and he said, well, fully enough, McKellen, it's a good brand. And he said that it's Suits that's like shot the price up of McKellen. So it's always been, a good brand and expensive one. But because of Suits and everyone wanting to drink it,
that is so
it's just
funny.
sent the price through the roof. Yeah, it's interesting that, isn't it?
So yeah, they did announce the date, but I can't remember now when it's coming back.
Didn't see that.
Yeah, it has been announced. But yeah, Suits LA, an LA spin-off. We will be watching. Will you be watching?
Yeah.
Anyway, let's move on.
Yeah.
Because we have a meeting after this podcast.
We certainly do.
Let's do a recap of our events, John. We've been very busy.
Well, we've been busy. We worked out last night that since Saturday, I've spent 23 hours in a car. 23 hours driving a car, no less.
I think it probably is 24 now because we didn't factor in you driving us just last night to the church, to the carvery,
yeah,
to Tesco.
Probably is actually, yeah. So, would have been less. Part of the problem was we hit traffic on the way to London, so that massively expanded our trip to London.
Yeah.
But there we go. But yeah, 24 hours since Saturday, and we're only on... Well, it's Thursday morning now. It's Wednesday when we work this out. I haven't driven yet today. So let's work backwards. So Friday we were in Workington, weren't we, for a case?
Yes.
Got a brilliant outcome from my clients, actually.
Yeah. Speak about it briefly.
Speak very, very briefly about it. So it was he was up for drug drive in the community order bracket, very, very much in the community order bracket, and persuaded the bench to sentence him by way of a fine rather than a community order. So good outcome for the client there. And then we had to drive back from Workington, which is a 3-hour trip.
Yep.
Pick up a hire car very quickly, and then picked our parents up, loaded the car up, and drove to London on the Friday night for the National Pupillage Fair on Saturday.
The Target Jobs National Pupillage Fair. It was a cracking day, wasn't it?
Brilliant, wasn't it?
It was so good. I mean, they're always amazing, those events.
Yeah, they are.
Our Northern Pupillage Fair was amazing as well.
Brilliant.
And yeah, the level of drive and ambition that students have these days, I think far surpasses how students were in my day.
It's crazy, isn't it? It's crazy.
Yeah, like people going to law fairs and stuff back then probably be people that were about to apply, and pupillage fairs about to apply. But now I had so many first year law students come up to us, talking to us. I know at our pupillage fair we had A-level students coming along. Like, it's insane, and we love.
Oh, it's brilliant, isn't
I mean, the day is crazy. It goes so fast, and you're talking constantly. If you do get to stop for a second and like drink a bit of water, you don't realise how like dry your throat is. But
I have to say, part of the reason my dad, so the speed mooting team is myself and Hayley, and then my parents love it. They
always help the events.
And they were brilliant at this event because we were in the bench room, so you have sort of the main hall where all the chambers exhibited and the law schools and all the rest of it, and then the bench room was a separated off room with just 4 stands. So there was the free representation unit, the Inns of Court, the Bar Council, and us. And so just before 10 o'clock, my dad stands outside the room. He's got a whole load of our speed mooting tote bags. Come in here, come and speak. And like, it's not even 10 o'clock, and there's literally dozens of people with speed mooting bags already, and they're just flooded into us. So,
he's a good salesman, your dad, isn't he?
He did really well, didn't he? And so we just didn't stop talking all day.
No, we really didn't. It was amazing, and it's crazy because we've been going for so long, and we do have such a wide reach. So we've got connections in universities up and down the country. Our mailing list is nearing 3,000.
Yeah.
I think we must be nearly on like 30,000 followers.
Yeah.
So you'd think there couldn't possibly be anybody that hasn't heard of us, but so many people go, oh yeah, I think I've heard of your name, but what is it you do? So it just shows how valuable it is for us to get to all of these events.
Definitely.
There's still so many people out there that don't know the services that we provide and how we can help them on their journey. So if you have similar events, and I know a lot of universities have their own small law firms and careers fairs, etc., get in touch with us, invite us along to the National Pupillage Fair. So yeah, incredible day. You gave a really good talk, didn't you, John?
I did, yeah. So I gave a talk. So it was an absolute honour to give that talk because it's a fantastic venue. I have to say I'm a member of Gray's Inn, but Lincoln's Inn, wow, what a venue!
Yeah.
And having been to a couple of these pupillage fairs in the past, the Target Jobs National Pupillage Fair, watching the talks, to think, wow, I'm the one that's actually on the other side delivering that talk. And so we were in a room. It was literally standing room only, wasn't it?
Yes.
People filled that thing. People were queuing for a while beforehand. And it was an honour to deliver that talk. So I spoke about the play mitigation, told people what it was. I gave them sort of a mock scenario, and we had an interactive discussion about what should be included within a play mitigation. Then at the end, I delivered an example of a play mitigation. So I think that video is going up on YouTube. It might even be live now. So if you didn't get the chance to see the talk, take a look at it on YouTube.
Yeah. So it was a fantastic day. We have a really good relationship with Target Jobs. We got in touch with them last year when we were doing the Northern Pupillage Fair for the very first time. Was it last? No, this year. It was this year.
This year, no.
We're not in 2025 yet, are we?
No.
So we got in touch with them about our first ever Northern Pupillage Fair. Obviously, we were very green, very new, very nervous, and we asked them to support us, and they did pretty instantly. It wasn't even a hard sell.
They didn't even have to think,
Of course we will. So on their website, they supported and endorsed our Pupillage Fair, and we in turn supported and endorsed theirs. And I think we've pretty much already agreed that we'll be doing that year on year with them. Spoke to a lady from Target Jobs called Jennifer and a chap called Jonathan, and they were both, really open about us working together. And as Jennifer said, well, why wouldn't we? We're opposite ends of the country, and we've all got the same goal to bring opportunities to aspiring lawyers. Why wouldn't we support each other? So that was the Pupillage Fair.
And then we drove back straight after the Pupillage Fair. Drove back up to Liverpool. I had to drop the hire car off, come back home. Then Sunday we drove to
Warrington, Manchester.
No, Manchester, I think it was.
Manchester, for the Speakers Club annual conference. So we've spoken about this before. John and I are members of the Liverpool Speakers Club. John is actually the president. I've been roped in to be the secretary somehow. And the Liverpool Speakers Club is part of the Association of Speakers Club. So that we have basically mini speakers clubs all over the country, but we're all part of the ASC. So we have once a quarter or once a year. We have the.
So we have.
You break this down.
So we have an area conference because each club is part of an area. Each area is part of a district. And then the district is part of the national. So you have an area conference once a year. You then have a district conference once a year. You have a national conference once a year.
So this was our area conference. And it's a running joke with us because I don't know why we need to get this locked down for next year, but the last 3-4 years, this area conference has taken place the day after a big event for us. So it was the Pupillage Fair this time. I can't remember what it was last year, but it was something.
It's always something.
I know the year before it was after our 10-year ball, because I think I was still drunk when we were going up on the drive up there. I should clarify, I was not driving. But it always happens. So we're always there, half asleep, listening to AGMs and whatnot. And I had to take the minutes this year, so God help me when I have to type those up.
Thankfully, with one of our members, David Bolt, he's the area president now, and he's got a good grip on it. He made sure the AGM was nice and short.
He certainly did.
Yeah, AGMs can be boring.
Snooze fests. So that was Sunday.
Then we move on. We had a bit of a recovery day Monday, didn't we? From all the driving and everything. Tuesday we had the Advocacy Club, so another good session, speed mooting this week. Some great questions from some of our members at the end. It was an interesting problem on special reasons in for a drink driving offence. And I've just been clocking up the mileage again this week, haven't I? So I was I've been all over the shop, but I remember yesterday I was in Hereford.
You had to leave at
Left at 6 o'clock. Well, 6:15. Got there for 9:30, so 3 hours and 15. And it's country road all the way, which wouldn't be bad if you got a clear run.
Here we go.
Oh my word! There was one section where someone was doing 35 miles an hour. Now I get it. When you're on country roads where it's very tight, the roads are unmarked, and you can't see around the corners. 100%. You've got to drop your speed right down because you don't know what's coming the other way. Fine.
But you still complain about people when they do that.
Well, no, not on those types, because they're the kind where you might be doing 20 miles an hour around. Where it's very narrow, the roads are unmarked. It's literally just about wide enough for a car, kind of thing. Be sensible, drop your speed right down. These are B roads whereby the lanes are fairly wide. They're marked. You've got markings on the edge. You've got markings in the middle, so it's nice and wide. You could get a double-decker bus through these lanes, kind of thing. and we were caught in a bit of a train of people doing 35 miles an hour for 15 miles. And you laugh about it, but do the maths on that. When you're doing 35 miles an hour in a 60 zone, it should be you should be doing a mile every minute. It's taking you almost 2 minutes to do a mile. You're doubling your journey time. When you've got a 3-hour journey, it's not funny. It's not funny at all. And you know, when you're there at 6:30 in the morning, and you're like, what are these people doing? You know, I can't fathom it. I can't fathom why they'd be doing 35 miles.
Some people are just really nervous, playing devil's advocate. But I mean, I'm nervous on country roads. I am, but even I would be doing a normal speed limit if it was, as you say, if it was a B road, there's road markings, you can see the bends and stuff, then it's fine.
It's nice and wide. I mean, there's no, I mean, you know, once again,
maybe the car was broken.
Well, pull over. I mean, I think.
Were you driving with the hazards on?
No, I mean, they were just.
I've got no more excuses for you, pal. Whoever that was.
Yeah, I literally don't know. You know, 6:30 in the morning, you're doing that sort of speed. It's ridiculous. Just, I mean, even if they were doing 50 miles an hour, I'd go, all right. You know, we're losing about 16% of our speed there, but fair enough. We're close enough. Because, you know, occasionally you'll get caught behind a tractor or whatever. It's like, fine, fair enough. You know, a tractor can only go that speed. When you're in a car that can do 60 miles an hour and you're on a road that's that wide.
Anyway, let's move swiftly on.
Yeah.
Because we don't have much time left. And John could dedicate a whole podcast to
driving standards in this country.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You really could.
Yeah.
You really could. And it's a source of great amusement to me.
I mean, what I will say, thankfully, I think we were only caught behind this person for about 10 to 15 miles, so we lost about 10 or 15 minutes on the journey. So it's not the end of the world. If it was anything further than that, then obviously we'd have lost more time. But thankfully, the damage was mitigated.
Okay. Moving on.
Let's
get him off this topic. News. The SQE results came out. Now, John has a gripe about country road drivers. I have a gripe about the SQE. Just because I don't think it's any good. I mean, I did the LPC. Got to say, I'm not an expert on the SQE, but I've never spoken to a person that does it that like recommends it or says it was fun or easy.
Yeah.
I think, and I do get it because from what I do know about it, the purpose of the SQE, it's, you know, you're supposed to be fully trained essentially. You're ready to practice as a solicitor. So this is just an exam to confirm that you are ready to practice.
Right.
But the problem is, you know, life in practice is very different to getting a question right on an exam paper. So to pass it, you don't only need to sign up and complete the exam, you also need to find a provider to train you up on it. So what is the point?
What's the difference?
What is the difference? What was wrong with the LPC doing it first? I mean, I think it's also because it means once people pass, you know, they are a solicitor and they can, you know, they're in a firm usually because they've got experience and stuff. Yeah. So maybe it combats the people that are passing the exams but then can't get training contracts and stuff of that nature. But the exam just seems impossible. The pass rates have dropped again this year. That's what I read yesterday.
And it, you know, my understanding of it, so I understand it sounds a bit similar to the American system of you just sign up for an exam and then you need to try and basically find someone to train you up for the exam. That's my understanding of it.
But the qualifying work experience stuff you will have already done.
Yeah, you've done the qualifying. How does that differ from an LPC where you go on a course, you're on the course for however long it is, 1 year, 2 year, and you take some exams at the end of it? Yeah. How does it differ when you then have to sign for an exam and then go get someone to do some training for you?
Yeah. I think we should try and get, you know, on our Conversation with Counsel podcast, we should try and get an SQE provider to come on and talk to us about this.
Yeah.
Let that be my mission. I'll try and find
somebody. Yeah, let's try and find someone. Let's try and get some clarity. And let's get someone from, I don't know whether it's the Law Society or the SRA that make that change. Let's get someone to come on and say, here's the reason why. Yeah. Here's the benefit of it.
Yeah, I think it is because it circumvents the need for a training contract. I think that's the pro. But the con is no one can pass the exam.
Yeah, I mean, that's the only potential benefit I can see because, certainly with a training contract, you've got, at the end of the day, no matter how many applications you make, you've got to have somebody that goes, oh yeah, I think this person could be the one. And, that's, manifestly, not manifestly, but I suppose to a point it can prevent very capable people of getting into the profession. Look at you or I would submit we are very capable people, and yet it took us years and years and years because we're at the other end of someone going,
yes.
You know what? Nah, I don't think you're the one for me. So
yeah, if I had this, I would have qualified 4 or 5 years earlier.
Yeah,
you would have qualified.
Yeah, would have qualified.
Same, yeah.
Because the number of times we were overlooked for training contracts and thinking, well, we did pretty well. You won lots of cases for people. I won lots of cases. We were obviously very capable solicitors, and likewise on the pupillage front as well. I couldn't get a pupillage, overlooked all the time. And yet now I'm in court winning jury trials all the time. And it's because you're at the mercy of someone going, yeah, go ahead, I'll give you a chance.
Yeah.
So I get it from that point of view. It eliminates that aspect of things.
Why can't they? I've just thought of a solution in my brain.
Go on.
Why don't they just do it? Like, the LPC could have stayed exactly the same, or they can call it the SQE if they want, but you'd go to a course, you do an exam, and then you go and get your experience, and then you qualify.
Because that sounds like a common sense idea, Hayley.
Why? But yeah, and I learnt yesterday as well. I think this is true. If it's not, I'll stand corrected. But this is what someone put on LinkedIn, and they just failed the second time trying, and they said they only get one more try, and then you have to wait 6 years before you can try again. Wow. But that's what differs to. I don't think it's like that in America, is it? Or is it?
Ooh, I don't know. I think.
Actually, it might be, because I remember Kim Kardashian saying something about that.
You only get so many attempts.
But...
Yeah. She's going into her 7th year of law school, isn't she?
Yeah. Don't!
I saw this meme the other day.
Yeah, it's about to make a funny comment.
There was this meme, and it went, I'm entering my 7th year, and the response goes, yeah, that's not bad, if you're in medical school.
Listen, but she's also running about 12 businesses. She's got 4 kids. She's a single mum.
Yeah.
She probably has about 12 nannies, but that's by the by. Kim Kardashian is an icon. No, I'm kidding. So yeah, the SQE, gosh. Please, if there's anyone out there with good experiences, we'd love...
Yeah, if there is, because once again, we just see the negative of it. There might be good, and we might be just not seeing that.
Yeah.
And, Hayley and I, to be fair, we qualified many years ago, so we don't know much about it. So if there's anyone that does know much about it and has good experiences, or can say, well, no, this is the reason why we've done it.
Yeah. Tell us and we'll happily share it, definitely. But we actually got a nice testimonial yesterday linked to the SQE results.
We did.
And we'll obviously caveat this by saying, we can't promise to train people so they can pass the SQE.
No.
But we do cover a lot of advocacy.
Yes, we
with
do.
speed mooting, particularly with our advocacy club. So that can help you with your advocacy part of the SQE. Do you want to read out the testimonial, John? I think it came to you.
I will do. Let me find this testimonial. So, this was a testimonial I received on LinkedIn. Hi, John. Hi, John. I just wanted to fire a quick message over to you, thanking you for the YouTube content you've put out there. After a pretty big failure from my provider, I was left to learn a lot of the SQE content by myself, and your YouTube videos on criminal advocacy helped me a lot. I ended up receiving 100% in my assessment and couldn't be happier with it. Thanks again. And I have to say, that really means a lot. Well done. It really, really means a lot to me to receive messages like that.
Yeah.
And well done to this individual for receiving 100% in the exam, because you've obviously put a lot of effort in. It's not just about watching my videos. You've had to watch my videos, take it on board, and then apply practice, etc. But it means a lot that those videos out there, they're not just in the ether for the sake of it. People are gaining practical help from those videos. So
let's talk about this. This will be our final point, because we do have a meeting shortly. But if you don't know, so obviously you're listening to this podcast, you could be listening to it on Spotify or one of our streaming platforms. You could be listening to it on YouTube, but this is the only thing that you're looking at.
Yeah.
Have a look at our wider YouTube page, because we've got some 300 videos on there.
Easy.
Some of them are advice, insights, commercial awareness segments, etc. A lot of them is really practical hints and tips on how to perform various bits of advocacy.
Yeah.
So you've actually had a few testimonials like this recently, haven't you? So at the National Pupillage Fair, someone came up to you and said, "You're John Dove." I know that because, what did she say?
So this individual came over and said, yeah, I had to perform a plea in mitigation. I think it was for an application or scholarship. I watched your video. I knew nothing about it beforehand. Learned so much. And they said, "You've done this before, haven't you?"
And she was like, "No, I just copied John Dove." And then we were at the Liverpool Law Society annual dinner, and this was like a partner of Fair, said, "Oh gosh, I had to do advocacy at court and I hadn't done it for years and years, so I was there watching your YouTube videos before I went into the courtroom." So yeah, have a look at our YouTube channels. We've got a lot of helpful content on there, and if you are watching them, if you could give them a like or even a comment, it means a lot to us, because as John said, we put so many videos out there and then we're like, does anyone watch them? Who knows? I mean, the views are a bit of a telltale sign, which some of them have got really, really great reviews, but just a like or a comment, we see everyone and it makes our day.
Yeah, it does make our day. And likewise with this podcast as well, you know, if you're listening to it, A, subscribe, because it helps us, and B, if you can give us just a rating as well, you know, that's really, really helpful for us.
Yeah.
So the way you do it, there's 3 little dots on Spotify. Click those, give us a 5-star rating if you think we are 5-star, and we would very much appreciate that.
Yep.
So I think that does bring us to the end, because we've got a handful of minutes left before our meeting. So as ever, I've enjoyed recording the podcast. Hayley, have you enjoyed it?
I've enjoyed it, John.
Perfect. And if you are still listening at this point, then you are obviously one of our very, very, very keen listeners.
Yep.
So if you're still listening, drop us a comment, and the comment can be, we'll say 5-star.
5-star, okay. Or a star emoji.
Or a star emoji, one or the other. Drop us that comment, we know you're still listening at this point. So that brings us to the end. Till next time.
Bye.
Bye.